Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Is BINO Nation in the building? Put those emojis in the chat.
That's my gang.
Yeah.
Woke up still grinding, dreams don't drift away. Blueprints on the table, paint the path my way. Stacks on my desk, starting out the day. Ideas lifting off, I'm the engine in play. Caffeine in my bloodstream, rhythm in my chest. I'm with intention, never settling for less. Life is a chessboard, I'm 3 steps ahead. While they fade in dreams, I'm making that bread. Overload, but I still ride slow. Pressure on me, but it helped me grow. Overload, feel it head to toe. Still I hold the line when the storms all blow. Overload, but my heart won't break. Turning all the way in the moves I make. Overload, yeah, the climb I take. Building up a world only real ones make. They talk 9 to 5, but I'm breathing the grind. Turning losses into lessons, polishing on mine. Phone buzzing, daily opportunity speaks. While they chase distraction, I'm reaching my peaks. Call me Alice, world weight on my spine. Every scar earned, made the blueprint refine. While they binge on noise, I'm ready for the climb. Turn a single spark to a fire divine. Numbers in my sight, dreams in my hands. Building every day with deliberate plans. I'm the pulse of the hustle, the strength in the night. Turning every shadow into sun with light. Overload, but I still ride slow. Pressure on me, but it helped me grow. Overload, feel it head to toe. Still I hold the line when the storms all blow. Overload, but my heart won't break. Turning all the way in the moves I make. Overload, yeah, the climb I take. Building up a world only real ones make. Weight on my shoulders, but I walk with grace. Turning every try to a milestone place. Late night stack, but it sharpen my aim. Every sacrifice fuels a fire in my veins. Overload, but I shine through rain. Turning all the pressure into gold from pain. Overload, but I still remain. Standing on the grind that became my lane. Overload, man, I won't let go. Every setback, just another push to grow. Overload, watch the empire glow. I was built for the heights, now I rise, now I know. Overload, but I move with soul. Holding every dream like it's made of gold. Overload, but the truth I hold. I was built for the climb, now I rise and unfold.
If we agree with you, then we're black. We love black people. If we find ourselves in opposition to what you say, all of a sudden we hate ourselves and we hate black people. Who died and left you that kind of authority with your opinion? Who? Tell me.
Let them talk, baby. They don't know what we got. I see them running in the streets, chasing after crowns, trying to be the loudest voice in every single town. They say I'm moving backward cause I like to serve my king, but they don't know the peace and the power that you bring. I keep your plate hot, I keep the house still. I love to be the soft place where you can heal. They call it slavery, I call it devotion. While they drowning in a sea of mixed emotion. If loving you right makes me a pygmy, then baby pick me. I'm exactly where I wanna be. I don't want the headache, I don't want the fight. I just wanna be the one holding you at night. I follow your lead, I let you take control. You got the vision, baby, you got my soul. Call me a pygmy, call me a fool, but I'm the one winning while I'm lying next to you. They brag about being boss, they brag about the grind, but look inside their eyes, tell me what you find. Microwaves, dinners, and a pillow full of tears. trading a family for a couple lonely years. I respect your frame, I respect your mind. Yeah. A masculine love is so hard to find. I ain't competing, I ain't keeping score. You handle the world, I handle the door to your feet. Let the new age girls argue on the net. Let them argue. They haven't found a man that they can trust yet. I'm catering to you, body and soul, playing my position, playing my role. You protect, you provide, I submit, I reside in your kingdom. You got the vision, baby, you got my soul. Oh, call me a pygmy, call me a fool, but I'm waking up happy, lying next to you. Let them stay mad, we'll stay in love. I'm your pygmy forever.
No, chill for what? Who is this nigga?
You said the mask don't fit me, but it's glued to my name. Every hairline paints me wicked, 'cause I won't think the same. You see trouble when I walk in, like I set this place on fire. But I just talk like my granddaddy, and it cuts through all your choir. You want me to be the villain, so I'll be there, I'll be there. Not a shadow that you're killing, I'm the storm that's fighting back. I'm not a villain, I'm a super villain, that's a fact. You wrote the script, I'm just living, so I'll be there, I'll be there. You get nervous when I'm smiling, 'cause you know it's not for sure. I won't bow to your approval, I'm too grown to play that role. You throw labels like they shackles, try to change what I believe, but your story got a plot hole when I'm the one that's free. You want me to be the villain, so I'll be that, I'll be that. Not a shadow that you're killing, I'm the storm that's fighting back. I'm not a villain, I'm a super villain, that's a fact. You wrote the script, I'm just living, so I'll be that, I'll be that. Call me heartless, call me crazy, call me every name you know. All that talk just turns to power, watch my true colors glow. You want me to be the villain, so killing, I'm the storm. Fighting back. I'm not a villain, I'm a super villain. That's a fact. You drew the line, I crossed it grinning, so I'll be there. I'll be there.
If they push me to a certain point, I'll mess up in front of everybody. Yeah, I have the capability to just go there because it's just the way I'm brought up. Like, I never, ever, I never ran from anything because I didn't have nobody to go to. I've always had that, where I'm going. Home to get me. Ain't nobody there.
Yeah. They know my name, they know my word. They still throw dirt. Ha! Yeah. Been a decade in the game, 10 plus in the rain. Built a kingdom from the mud, turned up on them every string. They were lurking on my chat, screenshotting every frame. Took my slang, took my cadence, then pretended we the same. They was praying for my downfall while they copying my blueprint. Yeah. Every topic that I touch turn the trend, now they abuse it, use it. They be whispering in DMs, plotting on me, try to stop my rise, stop my rise, stop my rise, stop my rise. Try to ice me out the story, still I burn right through the lies. Yeah, I'm the people's champ, I'm the angry man. Say my name, can steal my style, never steal my hands. They can throw that dirt, still I rise again. You can hate my goods, but watch me rain. I'm the people's champ, I'm the angry man. They can twist my words, never twist my stance. Blame me for it all, I just take that chance. Cause they know I'm best, they don't want my shine to last. No, they was flagging every upload, sending shots behind the scenes, posting pictures of my family, trying to crack me at the seam. Drop my name up in the phone, type my address on the site. Thought the fear would make me vanish, told them pussies catch a flight. Every time they build a boycott, I just build another brand. Turn a smear into a slogan, made a movement out the slander. Understand, they be calling me the villain, why they quoting every line. I'm the mirror that they scared of, so they cover up my life. I'm the people's champ, I'm the angry man. Say my name. They can steal my style, never steal my hands. They can throw that dirt, still I rise again. You can hate my goods, but watch me rain. I'm the people's champ, I'm the angry man. They can twist my words, never twist my stance. Blame me for it all, I just take that chance. Cause they know I'm best, they don't want my shine to last. They gon' blame me for the storm, blame me for the rain, blame me cause I said it, just remember we ain't the same. They gon' cry about my tone, but they study every take. You can hate on every move, you can cancel what I made. Nah, I'm the people's champ, I'm the angry man. Say my name. They can steal my style, never steal my hands. They can throw that dirt, still I rise again. You can hate my goods, but watch me rain. I'm the people's champ, I'm the angry man. They can twist my words, never twist my stance. Blame me for it all, I just take that chance. Cause they know I'm best, they don't want my shine to last. Cause they know I'm best, they don't want my shine to last. Yeah, they know I'm best, and that's why they hate the man.
You are now rocking with the best. Support the Angry Man. Support the stream.
Turn up, heart racing, no delay. This life don't wait, so I'm on my way. Oh, feet hit the pavement, sunrise grinning. Life's a roulette and I'm always spinning. Pocket full of dreams, got the world in my hands. No map, just vibes and unplanned plans. Sweat on my brow, running wild through the city. Clock ticking loud, but it ain't that gritty. Spill my soul like ink on a loose leaf. Every breath a moment, no time for grief. Full throttle, no brakes, I'm flying. Every second counts, ain't no denying. Living for the now, future can't wait. No rewind button, I'm on in my face, yeah, yeah. I'm on in my face, I'm on in my face. Heart like a drum, beating fast, no pause. Life's a movie real, I'ma start with no flaws. Cup running over, champagne fizz. Every day's a blessing, yeah, that's the biz. Jumping over hurdle, life's track and field. Every scar story, every wound's healed. Skyline's my ceiling, dreams stretch wide. Riding shotgun with hope, joy by my side. Full throttle, no brakes, I'm flying. Every second counts, ain't no denying. Living for the now, future can't wait. No rewind button, I'm on in my face, yeah, yeah. I'm on in my face, yeah, yeah. Roll the dice, let it ride. Moonlit nights, ocean tide. Every heartbeat, a melody. Life's a stage, I'm a symphony. Slow it down, feel the sound. Breathing deep, feet on the ground. Then a spark, hit a call. One more run, give it all. Full throttle, no brakes, I'm flying. Every second counts, ain't no denying. Living for the now, future can't wait. No rewind button, I'm on in my face, yeah, yeah. No rewind, no regret. Sunset phase, but I ain't done yet, yeah. I'm on in my face, yeah,
What's good? What's going on, everybody? We back in the building yet again. Shout out to the whole BINO Nation. Man, y'all have no earthly idea what your boy been going through the past 24 hours. Oh my God. So let me try to break down. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm so sleepy. I'm so freaking sleepy. Y'all have no idea. So many of y'all probably don't remember this. Some of you probably will if you've been around long enough. At one point, I had my merchandise store set up a certain way, right? Y'all probably remember it. Matter of fact, how many of y'all remember the BINO Bistro? Press 1 if y'all remember the BINO Bistro. See, Young 85 said, my wife is mad because I'm watching your podcast. Yeah, it probably means that, you know what, I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to leave that alone. That's your wife, so I ain't going to say that. I'm going to leave that alone. But, back when I had the BINO Bistro, most of y'all if you never purchased anything from me, you probably wouldn't know. But those of you that have purchased from me, you probably noticed that it was a lot easier to purchase merchandise from me back then. And when I say easier, I mean the the user interface that I was using is more seamless. And in other words, if you go in there to purchase something, you don't gotta do a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? If your information is already saved, you can just click buy, and you go through the process fairly easy or whatever, right? The only problem is I had to switch the way I did it. And the reason I had to switch the way I did it is because I was having some issues with Google, right? So Google has this thing called the Google Merchant Center, right? And so basically that's what you have to connect your merchandise website to in order to put your shirts and stuff on Google, in order to put my stuff on, when y'all come to the video, y'all see up under the video, you see my shirts under the video or whatever, right? So I had an issue with them, and it's an issue that a lot of people have. And basically, if you don't have your website and everything set up to the specifications of Google, they'll suspend the merchant account, right? So it doesn't really mean anything for your website store. Your website store still be up and you can still make sales and all of that stuff. But the problem is it's not being advertised through Google. It's not going through Google or whatever, right? So when this issue happened, I went through the whole process of trying to make sure everything was situated, because sometimes it happens because it's not even something that you're doing. It's just one of those things. It's just one of those internet quirks that happens or whatever, right? And so I finally got tired of dealing with it. And so I switched the way my merchandise is sold. I switched it, right? Now, even after I switched it, I still encountered the same problem. So I had to do what I needed to do to get everything situated, right? And so now that I got that situated last January, right? I had to contact my YouTube representative so that they could talk to somebody at Google and get everything situated. So we did that back in January and got everything situated, right? So my Google merchant account was in good standing, got all of this history of sales and all of that stuff, right? And so last night, me being the genius that I am, I said, I think I want to revert my store back to the way it was, because it was so much easier for people to purchase my merchandise back then, right? Not realizing that when I set up my store through the web hosting company that I use for my website, it created the account, the Google merchant account that I've been using that was in good standing. So once I switched, and most of y'all not going to understand this. If you're a YouTuber and you got merchandise, you'll understand it, right? So I switched back to the other platform that I was using before, when I was using the BINO Bistro, and everything looked like it was just working properly. Everything looked like it was awesome, right? So I went ahead and set up the new store, set up the new merchandise. Well, not the new merchandise, but what's the word for it? Migrated my merchandise over to this new store, fixed it on the website, designed the new store. What else? I also sent out promos too, changed everything up, right? Was up until the wee hours in the morning doing this. Right before I get ready to go to bed, I look and my Google merchant account is just gone. I don't even know where it's at. I'm like, what the hell just happened? So apparently what happened when I shut down the old store, it just completely obliterated my freaking account, right? And so I'm like, wow. So I have to get in. So this morning I get in contact with my Google, or excuse me, my YouTube representative, and get him to contact Google, you know, get him to tie Google into the email thread that we're doing, and said, look, man, I had this account and it just vanished because I switched platforms that I'm selling my merchandise on. And so, I sent that email and I'm waiting. A couple hours pass by. I get a response back, and it's Google. It looks like an automated response too. It's Google talking about we can't really help you with this until you clear up the other issue. And it's the same issue that it was before. And I'm like, no, that issue was cleared up. You guys have things mistaken. So I have to contact them people again. And then finally, long story short, they finally got everything situated this morning. I think around 10, maybe 11 o'clock this morning. Finally got it situated. I got maybe a couple hours of sleep, and then got up and tried to do everything I needed to do. And here I am right now. Here I am today. So, after countless emails between me, my YouTube representative, and Google, after countless conversations with my AI, I finally, and an endless night of programming and design, I finally got everything back to where it was when I had the BINO Bistro. So for all of you that used to purchase merchandise from me when it was so much easier to do it, I'm here to tell you right now that we have gotten everything situated yet again. So we now have the BINO Nation store. That's right. Fire shot for that. We now have the BINO Nation store. So for any of you that want to check out merchandise, and I like this, I like this UI. I like this user interface so much better because it's so much cleaner. But you can come over here, you feel me, and you can grab you some merchandise. You feel me? You can grab you some. Ooh, look at that. Remember, now, if you remember, when I tried to show you guys the merchandise on the website before, it wasn't coming up clear. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't coming up clearly. So watch this. So we go to the website, right? So now everything comes up clearly. You feel me? Everything comes up clearly. So if you want to grab some merchandise, you feel me? You click on that right there. Takes you directly to the site. And let's see, let me show you. So you go here, let's say extra large. Let's see, add to cart, check out. See that? So much easier. So much easier. You got Shop, you got PayPal, you got GPay, you got Venmo. You can save your information. You got your credit card where you can put your credit card information in. You can use Shop Pay, you can use PayPal, all of that good stuff. So now that we got the merchandise site back the way I want it, I do predict that we shall be dropping some new designs very soon. Probably this week coming up. I'm gonna drop a bunch of new designs or whatever. I need to order some for myself too. But this is the newest. These are the newest designs that we got. We got some, you know, we got khaki color BINO Empire. We got orchid. We got chalky mint. You feel me? We got blossom, butter. You feel me? We got chambray. And then, of course, we got white, classic white. You feel me? So whenever you guys get a chance, go over to the website, grab you some merchandise. You feel me? It's greatly appreciated. But that's what I was doing all night. And it's funny because you would be amazed at how much time, energy, and effort went into just doing this. Like, I don't think y'all really get it. Like, the amount of time, energy, and effort that goes into all of this shit that I do, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, the stuff that I do behind the scenes just to come to this simple solution. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. But let's see. Somebody said they like the lion joint. Let's click on that real quick. Yeah, that's fire. That's fuego. You see what that say? Balanced individuals of noble origin. BINO Nation, established 2021. And of course, it has like the BINO logo on the inside of the shirt. So yeah, when you guys get a chance, go grab you some merchandise. Go check out what we got. Go check out what we got. We got some fire. We got some fire. So go check out what we got, man. Put a lot of hard work into it. Put a lot of hard work into it. That's all I'll say. But we got a lot to talk about, man. We got a couple of topics that we got to talk about. We have an update on the Big Tigger situation. Because I don't know if y'all remember or not, but I was gonna do some research into Big Tigger's wife to try and figure out why her daughter is missing, right? So apparently she got arrested yesterday. And if I would have known it, like, we did the show kind of early. If I would have did the show a little later, right? If I would have did the show a little later, I probably would have updated the show and talked about her getting arrested. But it's all good because we're going to talk about it today. Oh, yes, I'm going to talk about it today. I'm going to talk about Big Tigger's wife getting arrested, and I'm going to laugh about it. I'm going to have me a good old heartfelt chuckle about her getting arrested. I sure am, right? We also have to talk about this young man from Mississippi that came up missing And then they recently found him dead, you know, this black kid, and you know, his white buddies acting like they don't know what happened. We got to talk about that. And we also have another surprise topic that we're going to talk about as well, because there's so many things I come across that trigger me on a daily basis, you know. So I got plenty to react to. You feel me? But before we get into any of that, make sure you guys are supporting the show. Remember, if you want your messages read first and foremost at the top of the show, you have to participate in the BINO roll call. What is the BINO roll call, you may ask? The BINO roll call is when I shout out and read the messages of individuals that drop 20 or more. So if you drop $20 or more, you become part of the BINO roll call, and we will read your messages at the top of the show. Those are actually the ones we read first. Now, if you want your messages read immediately in the midst of the show, in real time, all you have to do is become a sponsor of the show or a super sponsor. Drop 100 or more. That qualifies you as a sponsor. Drop 500 or more. That qualifies you as a super sponsor. Either way, your messages will be read on the spot immediately as soon as I see that you've donated 100 or more or 500 or more. And your name will go up on the ticker, and you will have my undying gratitude. So make sure you guys are supporting the show. Make sure you guys are participating in the BINO roll call. So let's get to this first story that I came across that I found to be so interesting. Oh, wait a minute. Before we even go to the first story, we only got one BINO on the roll call. Wait a minute. No, we got two. We got two BINOs on the roll call. We got two BINOs on the roll call. What in the hell? Hold on one second, you guys. What is this? What did Modern Renaissance Man just send me? Oh, that's fire right there. That's fire. That's fire. Shout out to Modern Renaissance Man. Appreciate that, bro. That's fire. But yeah, before we go anywhere, and y'all gotta forgive me if the energy is low. Y'all gotta forgive me if the energy is low, because I'm working on fumes here, guys. I'm working on fumes here. So y'all gotta forgive me. I'm working on fumes here. I'm just so happy that I was able to accomplish what I was trying to get accomplished, because y'all don't even understand, man. When you be having it, bruh, that freaking Google merchant account issue, bro, that shit. I fought with that shit for like a year. I ain't even gonna lie. I fought with that shit for like a year. I'm talking about changing stuff on the website, trying my best to be as compliant as possible. And bro, I caught hell. And then all it took was for me to contact my YouTube representative and be like, hey man, you think you could talk to somebody at Google about this? Because I felt like it wasn't even a person that was doing it. I felt like it was one of those things where it was just an automated system that just kept doing the same thing over and over again. And sure enough, ever since I was able to get, in touch with somebody at Google, it solved the damn problem immediately. I've been fighting with that shit for like a year, and all it took was for me to email them one day. Shit was solved in an hour. It's crazy. But like I said, so far we've got what we got. We got 3 people on the BINO roll call. So make sure let's see. Make sure you guys are participating in the BINO roll call. So let's check out this first video, because I'm pretty sure the other BINOs will come rolling in. So let's check out this first video. Let's see. Maybe that'll get us. Maybe this first video will help and get the juices flowing, get the energy up. You feel me? Let's see. Let's start with this one. It's been a while since we spoke on any political commentary. So let's do this one first. So, Baldy is at it again.
I just cannot.
Baldy is at it again. Yeah, this bald-headed, big mouth chick is at it again, bro. At it again. So let me play this video, and I want you to hear everything that she's saying, and then I'll give you my commentary on the other side of it. So let's get it.
Stop thinking about that photo from this weekend. The photo of a. I just cannot stop thinking about that photo from this weekend. The photo of a Black woman sitting on a train, a metro in Washington, D.C., surrounded by members of the Patriot Front, which is a white nationalist group. And I think that picture went viral because for a lot of people, myself included, it felt like a metaphor. It to me is a physical representation of a tension that has frankly always existed in America. Who gets to belong? Who gets to be considered American? These are questions that we have been asking since the founding of this country, if we want to be honest. The founders wrote that all men are created equal, while many of the same men who signed that glorious document owned people who looked like me. So, yes, I recognize that the photo is uncomfortable, that these conversations are uncomfortable, but this is a very American conversation. And, history tells us something about this. White supremacist movements in America, they have always adapted to the moment. Now, no, the Patriot Front is not the KKK. But it sure seems to me that white supremacy has traded in the hoods and torches for khakis and white ski masks. The packaging has changed, but the message about who belongs and who has power, it has not changed, okay? And history teaches us something important about that these movements often show up when the racial hierarchy in this country feels like it's changing. The KKK didn't emerge before the Civil War. It emerged during Reconstruction, after the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, after Black men gained voting rights and political power. So when people say, why do you have to make everything about race, Simone? My response is often, I am not the one making it about race. The racists are. Black people did not create slavery. Black people did not create Jim Crow, okay? Black people did not create segregation. And Black people were not the ones marching through the United States Capitol questioning who gets to belong in America. For 250 years, America's story has been a fight over whether the promise of this country expands or it contracts. And that photo reminded a lot of people, myself included, that the fight is still happening today. I just cannot stop thinking about that photo from this.
Oh my God, I thought she would never shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ. So there's a couple of things with this that we got to address, right? This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a prime example of what I mean when I talk about fake outrage, when I talk about the perpetual premise of victimhood, right? So if you notice, you've got this picture of, these particular guys, because nowadays it really doesn't matter. Anything that white people do, anything that if you're a straight white Christian male, you're pretty much going to be labeled a racist, no matter what, especially by the Democrat Party. So you got these guys that got these khaki hats on with these hats that got these flags on it, and they got on white masks or whatever, right? And so now all of a sudden she's outraged. It's, oh my God, these are racist and white supremacists. So it's cool for YNs to walk around with poo shiesties on, but when white guys walk around with white masks on, all of a sudden it's problematic, right? Anyway, she's talking about this photo and how this bothers her because you've got this Black woman sitting there amongst all of these white men that are quote unquote white supremacists. And there's only one question that I got to ask. There's only one simple question that I have to ask. Did any one of them bother her? That's my question. Now, while taking that photo and posting it with her looking like that, that imagery is striking, especially if you're trying to tug at the racial heartstrings of Black folk that love nothing more than a good victimhood story. But my question is, did anybody on that bus bother her? Did anybody on that bus bother her? Now, instead of me getting an answer for that question, this is what someone said in the chat room. You see what he said? He said, Angryman is a sellout. And, at this point, Joseph Smith or whatever the fuck your name is. What makes you think I care about the opinion of somebody who would even say that? Huh? What makes you think I care about your opinion? Or even better yet, why are you watching this sellout? That's a better question. Why are you watching this sellout? And I know you want to deflect away from the truth. I know, but I'm going to ask the question again. This bald-headed woman who seems to think wearing red lipstick and long eyelashes is going to distract us away from the fact that she's bald-headed, is at it yet again. And she's talking about this photo, acting as if this is like the photo. You remember the photo back in the day when the black girl was being escorted to the school and you had all of the white people around yelling and protesting because it was, Brown versus Board of Education. It was, the integrating of the. They're trying to pretend like these modern day wannabe civil rights activists. They're so desperate to be relevant, and they need a racial cause to be relevant. But again, even though you look at this photo. And you could, picture's worth 1,000 words. You can draw whatever conclusions you want to draw from this photo. But my question is very simple. Did anybody bother her? Did anybody bother her? Did anybody bother her? Did anybody on this train harass her? Did anybody on this train say anything to her? Did they do anything to her? Or did somebody's race baiting ass take this picture and then post it? Oh my God, look, this black woman's in danger. Did anybody do anything to her? Now, the answer is no. We know that nobody did anything to her, because if they did, they'd be talking about a hell of a lot more than the imagery of this picture. If they actually harmed one single hair on this random black woman's head, this bald-headed black woman would be up here going ham about it. So we know they didn't do anything to her, right? Unlike this situation. Remember that situation? Remember that situation? This is what I mean when I say fake outrage. So on the one hand, you're upset because this black woman was sitting on a train surrounded by white men who didn't do anything to her. But you seem to not care about this situation where this white lady was sitting on the train just like the black woman was sitting on the train, minding her business just like the black woman was minding her business. The only difference is the black woman was surrounded by a bunch of white men that you claim are white supremacists, and they didn't even bother her. Meanwhile, this white woman was on this bus, not surrounded by black supremacists, just surrounded, sitting in front of one random black man with some sort of mental illness, I guess. That's what they claim. And boom, what happened? She lost her life. Right? But this is the thing that's really bothersome. This is the thing that's really bothersome. And see, there is an argument to be had. You know what the argument is? The argument is this, or at least this is the argument that I'm presenting. How badly have you black Democrats lost the plot to where you're basically trying to pose the idea that a black person, a black woman sitting on a train, is surrounded by vicious white supremacists, but nobody even says a word to her? But that's 1,000 times worse than this random black man who had been released numerous times. Really, he shouldn't have even been free. He should have been locked up. But in your mind, that is not as bad. So a black guy that has some sort of mental illness that should be locked away somewhere so that he can't harm himself and others. That guy taking the life of a random white chick on a city bus in Charlotte, North Carolina, that's not as bad as a black woman sitting on a train unbothered, but is allegedly surrounded by a white supremacist. You know what this is, in my personal opinion? I'm going to tell you what this is. In my personal opinion, Democrats, God doesn't like you anymore. And the reason why I say God doesn't like you anymore is because no matter how hard you try to push your old fucked up ass narrative, he just keeps doing things to make you look stupid. The Almighty keeps structuring things to expose you for the dumbasses that you are. Because that's what you are. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about that. In no way, shape, or form are we confused about the fact that you're a bunch of dumbasses. And not to mention the fact that you have no situational awareness. No situational awareness. The fact that you would even come to social media and show this photo of this random black woman sitting on this train, which looks kind of like that bus, with all of these white guys that you claim are white supremacists, but they didn't bother her when this situation is still fresh in the memories of Americans. How bad is your situational awareness? How stupid can you be knowing that this is still fresh on the minds of everybody, but you thought that coming up here to play victim about a random black woman sitting on the train that nobody bothered, you thought that would be smart. You thought that that would be good PR. Like, am I the only one? Is there anybody in the chat room that sees, or that can see the level of stupidity involved in her doing this? And see, just like earlier, that one person's going to come in and say, oh, Angryman's a sellout. You know why he called me a sellout? Because I won't base everything I do or every opinion I have off of race loyalty. You know what they call you when you base everything you do and every thought that you have and every opinion that you have off of race loyalty? You know what they call you? A racist. I'm going to say that again. This is the reason why that individual came in here and said Angry Man's a sellout, because Angry Man will not base his opinion, his assessment, his logic on race loyalty. And the reason why is because when everything you do, think, feel is based on race, that means you're a racist. That means you're a racist. There's no way on God. Like, I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised to allow race to trump my logic. And there's a reason why. Because there used to be a time where there were people who allowed race to trump their logic. And because they allowed race to trump their logic, they believed that it was possible for another group of human beings to be subhuman. See, if they would have been operating logically and used their logic over race, you wouldn't have had slavery. You wouldn't have prejudice. You wouldn't have had racism. You wouldn't have had Jim Crow. So you have to excuse the hell out of me when I decide, and I was raised to use logic over race, not race over logic. Because we see what happens when people use race over logic. When people use race over logic, people get enslaved. People are railroaded by what's supposed to be the justice system. That's what happens when you prioritize race over logic. So to anybody that comes in here and says to Angry Man, oh, you're a sellout, this is what I would like for you to do. I would like for you to never come back to my channel. Take your racist, bigoted ass somewhere else. Because see, here's the thing. Here's the logic. The logic is, if only one of these white men had stabbed this black woman and taken her life, I would have been saying they need to lock him under the jail. I would have been saying, oh my God, that was horrific and it should have never happened. But I'm not saying that because it was a white guy that did that to a black woman. I wouldn't be saying it because of that. I would be saying it because no human being sitting on a bus or a train minding their business should ever have to worry about some random person stabbing them to death. Doesn't matter what color either of those individuals are. It doesn't matter what color the knife-wielding maniac is. It doesn't matter what color the victim is. So the same way that I feel that this guy right here needs to be locked under the jail because what he did to that white woman was horrible. She's sitting there minding her business and he stabs her and she was dead before she even realized it. That's horrible. There's no way to defend against that. You're just sitting there and somebody just randomly hits you. There's no way for you to defend against that. That is horrible. And guess what? I'd be saying the same thing if that was a white guy and a black woman. I'd be saying the same thing if it was a black guy and a black woman. I'd be saying the same thing if it was a white guy and a white woman. I'd be saying the same thing if it was an Asian guy and a white woman. Asian guy and a black woman. I'd be saying the same thing. It doesn't matter what the race is. Doesn't matter what the race is. So if any one of these gentlemen would have done any harm to this black woman on this train, I would be one of the loudest people talking about how horrible and horrific it was. But here's the reality. None of these men that this woman is saying are white supremacists. None of these men that this woman is saying, is the modern day version of the Klan. None of these men did anything to that woman. Now, let me ask you guys this question, because we need to put this into perspective, right? Would that black woman have been able to even sit on that train if that train was filled with a bunch of skinheads from the Aryan Nation? Would that black woman been able to even sit on the train if that train would have been carrying a bunch of Ku Klux Klan members? So, I mean, what are we talking about here? And have you ever seen this woman right here with this bald head? Have you ever seen anybody that's more outraged than this woman? Have you ever seen anybody in history that is more outraged than that woman? Like, every time I see her on social media, before she even opens her mouth, I already know. I already know. I already know. And you want to know what's funny? This is what's funny. What's funny when it comes to this photo is every black person that sees this photo, they're going to try their best to extrapolate some kind of racism out of this photo. That's what's so hilarious about it. They're going to look at that photo and they're going to say, how can we, let's see, how can we extrapolate some kind of, how do we do it? Something racist had to have happened on this train. Something racist had to have happened on this train. Like something, like you want to know what's crazy about this? Because this is the first thing that I think of when I see this, right? When I see this woman sitting on this train and I see this bald-headed woman trying to make something of it, you know what it makes me think? It makes me think, get over yourself. Get over yourself. Has it ever crossed anybody's mind that it could be possible that every last one of these white guys on this train wasn't even thinking about her? Like, is that even in the realm of possibility? Can anybody say, you know what? There's a strong possibility that every one of those white guys that was on that train wasn't even thinking about that black woman. Wasn't even thinking about it. Much less sitting there with some nefarious plot like, there's a black woman sitting behind me. I'm going to do XYZ. Not to mention the fact that I find it laughable anyway that this bald-headed black woman is talking about the plight of slavery, the history of this country, and oh my God, systemic racism and racism and schism and schisms and schisms and schisms and it's systematic racism and schisms and schisms. I find it laughable. I find it laughable. Would anybody like to know why I find it laughable? Would anybody like to know why I find it laughable? Press 1 if you want to know why I find it laughable. But before you press 1, I gotta warn you. Don't press 1 unless you want to hear some real shit. Because what I'm about to say is real. What I'm about to say is fuego. What I'm about to say is nuclear level. The reason why I always find it laughable when black women talk about racism. I always find it laughable when black women talk about racism, pro-blackness, how black people are being oppressed, and white supremacy. A black woman complaining about white supremacy is like the catcher behind home plate complaining about the pitcher. Let me say that again. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again. Because some of y'all didn't hear it. It probably went over your head. So I'm gonna say it again. A black woman complaining about white supremacy is like the pitcher, the catcher behind home plate complaining about the pitcher on the pitcher's mound. See, I'm tired of the grift. I'm tired of the grift. You brothers got to stop letting them play in your face. You got to stop letting them play in your face. If you were in a relationship with this woman, God forbid, if you were in a relationship with this woman, with this low-cut Caesar and this bright red lipstick, and the two of you got into an argument in your house, who is she going to call to regulate your behavior? I'll wait. Who is she going to call to regulate your behavior? She gonna call the police. She gonna call the police. Now, if I remember correctly, in the black community, there is a standing rule. The standing rule is that you're not supposed to call the police. No snitching. Snitches get stitches. So my question is this: why are black women exempt from the no snitching rule? Because the reason black men don't call the police is because black men feel that the police are part of the system of white supremacy, and the police are never going to be fair and balanced with black men. So that's the logic behind why black men never call the police, because black men always believe the police are going to brutalize them. So if that's the logic, then ask yourself this question. Why is the black woman who claims she has the same issues as you with systemic racism, claims she has the same issues as you with white supremacy, claims that she's worried about being brutalized by the oppressor just like you, why is she so comfortable calling them? This is why I say black men are lost. You're lost. You're lost. Because every last one of you will overlook that just for the sake of your queens, which really are Benedict Arnolds, if you really want to be honest about it. See, the funny thing about it is this, to that dude that came in here and said to me that I'm a sellout, to all of you black men that believe the angry man is a sellout, to all of you black men that believe that angry man is a coon, and even to you black men that have a problem with me because I'm light skinned, I got news for you. I'm not your problem. Your biggest problem is that woman that you laying next to. But you're so slow that you've literally created entire movements to protect the Judas on your team. You've created entire movements to protect the Benedict Arnold in your tribe, the turncoat in your tribe. During the day, she's marching up and down the street yelling, no justice, no peace, and we're being brutalized, and black power, black power. And at night, she laid up with William Cartwright telling him everything you plan on doing. And you ain't called it out yet. You ain't even asked yourself, why is it in the 90s? Why did they have so much more access to corporate America than us? Why was it so easy for them to get jobs and we was catching hell getting jobs? You ain't never asked yourself that question, black man? You just like little buddy on that movie. You ain't never asked yourself why William Cartwright is so nice to your wife. See, y'all don't want to have that conversation. Y'all don't want to have that conversation. Y'all don't want to have that conversation. That shit, that stings. That stings. See, but see, that's what happens when you come over here and call me a sellout. That's what happens when you come over here poking the bear. That's what happens when you come over here poking at a hornet's nest. See, I be holding back. I be holding back. I don't even be, this is base form angry man. Most of the time I'm base form angry man. I ain't even went Super Saiyan on you. There are things that I could say that come from just my understanding of the world we live in and the countless books that I've read. There are certain things I could say that would totally upend the foundation of reality as you know it. Let me say that again. Let me be more specific. There are things that I could say that would snatch the ground from under your feet. That ground that you call your reality, nigga. And the reason why is because I am under no illusions. I have kept it real with myself. Many of you haven't. Many of you haven't. Many of you have not come to the conclusion that if you are involved in any type of foolishness or effery and the police show up, those black women around you will throw you under the bus just to survive a little bit longer. Because if they got to choose between being faithful to the cause and saving their own ass, because you got to realize what you're dealing with. You got to realize what you're dealing with. What you're dealing with is a creature that will literally give its body to someone to save itself. When men conquered other tribes and conquered other lands, what do you think the women would do to avoid the fate of their men? See, they try to give you history where they make it seem like the men conquered the land and they forcibly took the women. They didn't have to force the women to do nothing. See, women good at, some women are really good at reading the room. When they saw that conquering tribe and what they did to the men of their tribe, they fell in line. They said, oh, oh, so these group of men, they ain't in charge no more. We get it. We get it. We get it. So you're literally looking at someone who will give the most intimate part of themselves to save themselves. That's why whenever I see them talking all of this pro-blackness and all of this, I laugh. I laugh. I'll be like, is that supposed to be a joke? Is that supposed to be a joke? Is that supposed to be funny? Y'all can't even get them to cooperate with you in a relationship. Her washing dishes is an argument. Her raising your children is an argument. Her washing your clothes is an argument. Her listening to your instructions is an argument. But you think she's going to be some sort of ride or die warrior princess when it's time to spark the revolution? Are you serious? Y'all really think y'all got some, bro, y'all really think y'all got some Dora Milaje warriors I don't care how bald-headed she is. She is not the Dora Milaje. Y'all really think y'all got some Dora Milaje soldiers that's willing to go down with the ship? They're not going down with the ship, bro. They're going to hop on the first life raft that's available. And they'll buff off any dude of any other culture if they're in charge of the life raft and they need them to let them on the damn life raft. They're not going down with the ship. See, when you make up your mind that you want to go to war or you want to spark a revolution, you know what you have to, you know what you have to, you know what you have to make peace with? You have to make peace with the fact that you might not win. You have to make peace with the fact that you may have to go down with the ship. Now, while you as a man and your homies as men, and some of them are suspect too, the fact that y'all are willing to go down with the ship, it does not mean that your women are willing to go down with the ship. Like I said, they're not going down with the ship. They're going to jump on the first lifeboat, even if the price of admission is them denouncing your ass. Even if the price of admission is them degrading themselves with the conquering group of men. They don't care. The only thing they're worried about is surviving. Okay? That's all they're worried about. Now, if you think I'm lying, let me ask you guys this question. Let me ask you, this is the whole reason why back in the day when men went to war, it was just the men. They didn't have women warriors with them. They didn't do all of that. They didn't do all of that. Let me ask you guys a question. How many of you in here watched the movie 300? How many of you watched the movie 300? Press 1 if you watched the movie 300, where Leonidas and his brave 300 marched off to death because they did not want to bend the knee to the Persian Empire. Didn't his queen give up them buns in an attempt to help Leonidas? When little buddy was running that scam and saying, I'll speak to the council for him, I just need a little something. Did she or did she not give up them proverbial draws? Because I know back then they didn't have draws, but did she or did she not give up them goodies? See, a lot of y'all watched that movie and you really didn't even pay attention. You really didn't pay attention. I paid attention. Because at the very beginning of the movie, I knew Leonidas' wife wasn't shit. I knew she wasn't shit. From the very beginning of the movie, I was like, yo, that chick right there ain't shit. Because some of y'all be like, well, what was she supposed to do? I tell you what she was supposed to do. She was supposed to do the same thing that he did. Because what did he do when he got out there? He exposed her. She should have exposed him on some, you will never believe what this dude tried to get me to do. But she didn't. She gave up them buns. So not only was her husband off fighting to the death, but she back at the crib giving up them buns because she claimed she wanted to help him. Did you really want to help him, or was you just really willing to give up them buns? That's why I don't be trying to hear nothing. I don't be trying to hear none of this crap. None of this crap about no freaking pro-black movement and the women and man, please. Please. Who do y'all think? Who, bruh? You can't look, you can't fool me. You can't fool me. I don't believe them. I don't believe none of them. I gotta see it. I gotta see it with my own two eyes. I gotta see it with my own two. I gotta see it with my own two. My own two eyes, you feel me? But yo, we need 5 more people for the BINO roll call. We gotta do the BINO roll call before we go to the next topic, but we need 5 more people. What is going on with the support? What's going on with the support, especially on the CashApp side of the game? We need some support. We need some support. Excuse me. We need 5 more people to support the show with 20 or more before we get to this next topic. If y'all want to get to the next topic, y'all might not care. Y'all might not care. We need 4 more people We need 4 more people, y'all. Need 4 more people. We need 4 more people. Let's get it, guys. We got to get to this topic about the young brother that came up missing and they just found dead. Shout out to Nita. Now we only need 3 people. Now we only need 3 people. My store up. Is my store up? It's up. Let's see. Let's see. Ronald gifted 5 memberships. You know what? We gonna count that as part of the BINO roll call. We gonna count that. We's gonna count that. Okay. All right, I think that's enough people to do the BINO roll call. Let's get to it. Let's get to it, because I definitely want to talk about this topic pertaining the young brother that lost his life. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Time for the BINO roll call.
BINO check. If you're in the building, show your work. Drop 20 on the Super Chat or Cash App.
Let's see. First and foremost, we got to give a shout out to Carter in the building with the salute.
That's that BINO energy.
Shout out to Chico, says support the show.
That's that BINO energy.
Let's see. Shout out to High Tolerance with the 50 spot.
That's that. That's that. BINO energy.
Oh, it's good. He says, salute AM 24 election cycle show where the 78% simp stands on society. They follow their woman's lead, and many won't admit they were on the cusp of getting divorce papers if they didn't fall in line. That's a fact. That's a fact. Shout out to Ronald for gifting 5 Angryman memberships.
That's that. That's that. BINO energy.
Appreciate you. Shout out to High Tolerance for also gifting 5 Angryman memberships.
That's that. That's that. BINO energy.
Shout out to Boxing Men said, keep cooking. They also turn our kids against us as well. That's a fact.
That's that. That's that. BINO energy.
Shout out to Nita. Nita said, just got off work AM for the BINO roll call. Appreciate you, Nita.
That's that. That's that. BINO energy.
Shout out to everybody participating in the BINO roll call on the late night. Y'all already know what it is. It would be nice to get a sponsor on the Cash App side of the game. So if you want to sponsor the show for 100 or more, definitely do that. It is greatly appreciated. And matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, we rarely ever do the book advertisement. Let's do the book advertisement. You guys got to check out the book if you haven't bought it already.
They told you to be nice. They told you to wait your turn. They lied. If you don't respect the man in the mirror, no one ever will. Stop looking for tips. Start looking for a standard. Your anger isn't a weakness. It's fuel. Burn it to build a better vessel. When you stop begging for attention, you start commanding it. Be the prize, not the option.
Reclaim your throne with the Angryman Standard. Now available at Amazon. Link in the description.
Yeah. Make sure you guys go get your copy of the Angryman Standard. It is available on the website, TheAngrymanChannel.com, or you can go grab it on Amazon by typing The Angryman Standard in the search bar. Y'all already know what it is, man. Let's pull up this story so we can hear what happened first, and then I will give you guys my thoughts on it.
The family of 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells is demanding answers. Wells, a college football player at Southwest Mississippi Community College, was last seen on the 4th of July, where he and friends hung out on Mississippi's Horn Island. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office says he was last seen around 3 p.m. on Saturday and didn't return to the mainland with the rest of the group. Authorities say his phone and keys were found on that boat. Wells's mother, Christine Wansley, reported him missing that night. After a 2-day search, his body was recovered in the northwestern part of the island on Monday.
I think that a wave washed his body up onto the beach.
Brian Trasher is with the United Cajun Navy and helped with the search for Wells.
I wanted him to bring him back to his mother alive and well. I knew that the further we got away from the last time he was seen alive, the lower chances that would be.
The sheriff's office is calling this an active investigation. Wells's family has retained civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who, in a statement, called on investigators to pursue this case with urgency and transparency. Investigators are reviewing social media, searching for clues. Tracy Lampley coached Wells in high school and says he was beloved in the Mississippi community.
Just so overwhelming, a kid with so much life, man, says so much potential, in the blink of an eye, everything changed.
And the county coroner tells CBS News that it could be weeks before the medical examiner's full report is completed. Attorney Crump says that his team will not rest until every aspect in terms of what happened to Nolan comes to light. Tony?
We'll look out for more info, Skylar. Thank you.
The family of 18.
So, initially, the first thing that I think about is foul play. I'm not even gonna lie. When I first saw the details of this case, a lot of stuff didn't add up. This reminds me of that case with the black girl that went with her friends down to Mexico, and they got to fighting with her, and she just mysteriously ended up dead. Bruh. First of all, their story didn't sound right. The friends, the friends that he was hanging out with, the white guys he was hanging out with, their story didn't sound right. They said, oh, well, we all went out together, but he decided to go off somewhere with a chick. So he went off somewhere with a chick and left his phone and his keys. Or maybe you and your buddies go out on a boat, and while you're on the boat, for some odd reason, there's some sort of disagreement. Maybe you got into a disagreement with one of them. Maybe you got into a disagreement with all of them. Doesn't really matter. You got one scenario where maybe you got into a fight with one of them. He ends up killing you, either by accident or on purpose. And now he has to cover it up. And then the friends, because they're there and they don't want to get in trouble, they help him cover it up, allegedly. Or there's the second scenario where you pissed everybody off and they jumped you and you ended up getting killed. They ended up taking your life. And now they're trying to cover it up, allegedly. Now, me personally, that's what I think happened. And the reason why I think that this happened like this is because the moment I heard about this story, the first thing that popped up in my head was the talented Mr. Ripley. Remember on the talented Mr. Ripley when him and Dickie, that was his nickname, right? Him and Dickie go out on this boat, and it's just him, it's just those two on the boat. They get into an argument. Tom hits him in the face with an oar, and it slices his face open. They get to fighting or whatever. Tom ends up taking his life, and so he throws him in the water, and sinks, puts a hole in the boat, puts rocks in the boat, sinks the boat or whatever, right? So the moment that I heard this story and heard the details of this story, I'm like, oh, that dude is gone. And they trying to cover it up. It's just my opinion. I think something happened. There was some sort of disagreement. And somebody messed around and took this dude's life. And now they trying to cover it up, especially when I find out that another story I heard, and I don't know how true this story is, right? But I heard that some people were saying that a bunch of them were together around 4 a.m, almost like they was trying to get their story together. I heard they was cleaning up the boat. which means it probably happened on the boat. Then I heard that they had taken the boat and put it at the house of one of the boys who just happens to have a mother that's a judge. So, yeah, there's a whole lot going on in this story that doesn't add up. Doesn't add up, right? But I tell you what, I tell you this right now. I'll tell you this right now. They're from Mississippi, right? Are all of them from Mississippi? I need somebody to let me know. Are all of them from Mississippi? They from Mississippi. Okay, so bunch of young dudes go out on a boating trip. 4 guys, if I'm not mistaken. Regardless of how many guys there are, there's one black guy. He mysteriously disappears. They don't know where he's at. His body washes up. One of the white boys' mama is a judge. I will be surprised if they even get charged. I will be surprised, and I'm just keeping it funky, if they don't come back and rule this as some sort of accident. If they don't come back and rule this as some sort of mysterious accident, I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be shocked, especially when I found out one of those kids' mother is a judge and they're all from Mississippi. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't have that much faith in Mississippi like that. You feel what I'm saying? I just don't, right? But regardless of what the outcome is, regardless of whether or not they get charged, regardless of, whether or not anything comes of this case, the one thing I will say is this. I believe they definitely had something to do with it. Like you could read that situation with your eyes closed. Anytime, let me tell you something. Anytime there's a group of friends that go somewhere and one of the friends just comes up missing, that scenario is damn near the same every time. Y'all took his life and you tried to cover it up. Now, how you got there is a whole other story. See, in my opinion, in scenarios like that, how they got there is more of a coin toss, and who the hell knows how they got there. How they got to the point where somebody lost their life, that could have been anything. But the one thing that we are not confused about, the one thing that ain't no mystery, if 4 people go out and 3 come back, and then the 4th one pops up dead, the 3 had something to do with it. That's not even, bro, that's not even up for debate. That's not even up for debate. Now, hopefully, the coroner's report will determine how he lost his life. Now, this is what's unfortunate. What's unfortunate is that if it comes back that he was if they determine that he lost his life because he drowned, how you gonna charge him? See, there has to be something in there that shows some sort of foul play, right? So hopefully when the report comes back, we'll get a more clear picture of what happened. And all I got to say is this: if we find out that there was some foul play, all three of them, they need to lock them under the jail. Because I'm a firm believer in no man left behind. Like, bro, first of all, you don't go places with your homies and leave your homie. You don't do that. You don't do that. Like, if we all go out together, then we come back together. We make it home together. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you don't let your, that's just like if you go somewhere and one of your homies get mad drunk, you can't leave him. Even if you and your, I remember me and my cousins went to the strip club, and one of my cousins got so freaking drunk. I'm talking about he got so he was drunk. I'm talking about couldn't walk, couldn't do nothing. You know what we did? Me and my other cousin, we got on both sides of him. We took his arm and put it over our shoulders and then hooked him up under his leg. So on each side of him, we got his arm over our shoulder and we done hooked him up under his leg, and we're carrying him out of the freaking strip club. You feel what I'm saying? And we put him in the car, and I'll never forget it because I'm driving. I'm on the freeway driving. And I try to wake him up. You know what I'm saying? I try to wake my cousin up. And he thought we was home, and he opened the door on the freaking freeway. And I had to literally grab him while I'm driving to keep him from stepping out of the car. Because look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you and your homies go out somewhere, you're responsible for each other. You feel me? You're responsible for each other. You do not want to be that dude that you and your homies go out somewhere and one of your homies kind of like goes off by himself or goes off with another group. You feel me? Goes off with another group. And like, I'll never forget one time, me and my cousins, we were hanging out on the strip, and there was these chicks that, you know, one of my cousins hopped in the car with those chicks, and I talked cash shit to him. You know what I'm saying? I talked shit to him. He got mad at me later because I was talking shit, but he was like, yo, it was a bunch of girls. Like, what I'm gonna do? Like, man, you think I'm gonna turn that down and this, that, and third? And I'm like, okay, I get that. But at the same time, bro, we don't know them chicks. You feel me? Now, it'd be one thing if all of them chicks wanted to kick it with all of us. Cool. This sounds like I'm a hater, right? This really sounds like I'm a hater. And at the time, he thought I was being a hater too, but I wasn't being a hater. I wasn't being a hater because I went to his mama's house and picked him up. You feel me? This is how I'm looking at it. I'm driving. I go to his house and pick him up. I go to my other cousin's house and pick him up. Like, if he hops out of my car and goes off with another group, whether it be chicks or not, and we don't know where he at, and something happened to him or somebody do something to him, they're going to be looking at me. His mama going to want answers from me. He left with you. Why you ain't look out for your cousin? Why you ain't make sure he was straight? She gonna have a problem with me. And see, here's the crazy thing. These white boys, the stuff that they doing, it already makes them look guilty. It already makes them look guilty. But let's say hypothetically that he did go off with another group of people or some shit, and that group of people did something to him. Guess what? It ain't gonna matter because he was with you. Everybody knew that he left with y'all. So guess who's gonna get stuck with it? You. That's the reason why when you got homies, no man left behind. No man left behind. I don't care what the situation is. You remember on The Wire when Bunk went to this chick's house and he was in her bathtub with her robe on, and she called up McNulty, and McNulty had to get up in the middle of the night and go get his boy? He had to do it. Had to go get him. Like, bro, you can't leave your homies on stuck. You can't do it, bro. You can't leave your homies on stuck. You can't. No, it's not about, see, here's the thing. It's not about being nobody's babysitter. It's not about that. That is a rule that is in the bro code. That's a rule that's in the bro code, man. You don't leave your homies. You don't leave your homies behind. I don't care what the situation is. You don't leave your homies behind. If somebody fighting your homie, you got to jump in and fight. You can't leave him. I know dudes that's done left. I know dudes when we was somewhere, we get into a brawl with some other dudes, and some of these dudes will fade into the bushes like Homer Simpson. You feel me? Like, you can't do that, bruh. Nobody ever forgets that shit. Nobody ever forgets that shit, bruh. Just like on Juice. Remember when Bishop actually, he took out Raheem? And then one day, Steele and Quincy was walking down the sidewalk, and they saw Rodderman and them with Bishop hemmed up. And Q was like, nah, let's go. And they turned around and jetted. Let me tell you something. If Bishop wasn't going to kill them before, he definitely was going to do it after that, because he saw him. He saw him, and I'm like, Q, what you doing? He saw you, bro. You made eye contact with each other. Could you imagine that? You standing there, and there's a bunch of dudes around you, and they pressing you, and they about to do all types of stuff. They about to jump you, tap your pockets and everything else, and you look up and see your mans? You see your mans in them? You make eye contact with him, and he turn around and leave? Hello, darkness, my old friend. Like, what? Like, bro, I saw you. We made eye contact and you just left? What? Now, with this young man, there's a few things I want to know. And my prayers go out to his family. But with this young man, Nolan, this is what I want to know. I want to know, how long has he been cool with them? How long have you been cool with these white boys? Like, for real. Like, I need to know these questions, because look, I'm going to tell you some real shit. That's why when people say certain stuff about me, it bugs me out, because I'm like, wow, you really don't know me. I don't understand. This is something I've never understood. Bro, stop being the token black guy. Stop being the token black guy. You shouldn't be the one black guy in a sea of non-black people, bro. You shouldn't. I'm just saying. And you know what? It's the same in the opposite direction. Don't be the token white guy. I'm just saying. And y'all from Mississippi. That's nasty work. That's nasty work, bruh. That's nasty work. So my question, you know, because I don't know what it is about black men today. Black men today, like, y'all have no safety rails. Y'all have no safety guards in your mind. I don't know what y'all are doing, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not one of these people that's going to say that the world is, I don't even think this situation is a racial situation. It's going to get turned into one. It's going to get turned into one. Make no mistake about that. I don't even think this is a racial situation. But it's going to get turned into one. The moment I heard Ben Crump, yeah, it's going to turn into a racial situation, right? But my whole thing is this. Y'all got to start moving differently, bro. Like, why are you the token black guy and you from Mississippi? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, bruh. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, look. And so now you're gonna have the whole black community about to come out the woodwork. You know, them white boys did XYZ. Them white boys, and they're gonna be mad too. What the hell? How did that get on my shoulder? How the hell did that get on my shoulder? Shit probably materialized from another dimension or some shit. What the fuck? Anyway, going back to what I was saying. You know, you're gonna have all of these black people, they about to come out the woodwork. They about to come out the woodwork. And look, I can't even be mad at them. Them folk need answers. Look, his family need answers. Them folk need answers. They need answers. Like, real talk. Wow, he looked just like his mom. Damn. He looked just like his mom, but he got his pop's nose. Them folks need answers. Cause that's some sad shit. Your son, and you know, he in college. He go off with his buddies, supposed to be on a regular trip, just going out having fun, and then he just come up missing. No, somebody got to be held responsible for that shit. Them boys need to they need to come on and fess up. They need to come on and fess up. What happened? What happened? How did this come about? What happened? You talking about he left when? And when he left, why he leave his keys in his phone? That don't make sense. That don't make sense. The only time you leaving your phone and your keys is when you leave it in a hurry. Or your phone and your keys is laying down somewhere and something happened to you. And when they try to move you, they not thinking about the phones and the keys until later. Because that'll happen too. Let's say, for argument's sake, you got your phone and your keys because you on the boat. You on the boat. You don't want to have your phone and your keys in your pocket because you're sitting on the boat. You could be sitting on the side of the boat and your shit fall out. So you might have took your phone and your keys out and set it somewhere where you know it's not going to fall off of the damn boat. Situation happen. Y'all get into it. You lose your life. Your body get moved. They not thinking about the keys and the phone until later. When they cleaning up the boat and they're like, oh shit, his phone and his keys. Telling you, you could read this with your eyes closed. Steel Maddox said AM, was there an autopsy on Nolan's body? They're doing one. They haven't gotten the results and stuff back yet. They haven't gotten the results and stuff back yet. But yeah. Yeah, like you could read this with your eyes closed. And this is this is unfortunate. This is really sad. This is really sad. I saw a couple of people talking about he was missing. And I said, well, okay, what is this about? And I was like, I'm not going to do no story on it until they find him. Until they find it, until they find his body and figure out what's going on. I was like, I ain't even going to speak on it yet. But now that they found his body and I'm listening to the circumstances and the situation, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely foul play. 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 I don't know what's going on, man. It's some with these friend groups, bro. It's some with these friend groups. Like these people cannot, bro. Y'all look, I'm telling you right now, y'all younger folks, man, y'all got to be careful about who you call your friend. You got to be careful about who you call your friend. Because you never know. You never know. I never went on trips with friends and shit. I never did all of that. Never did all of that. Shout out to Eric for being a sponsor of the show. With the salute.
That's that BINO energy.
Well, it's a lot better than we usually do. All right, chums, I'm ready, guys.
Let's do this. Leroy Dragons.
Yeah, so I feel bad. I feel bad for his parents. I feel really bad for his parents. Like for real. Like he probably, you got a lot of knuckleheads running around here, and then you have kids, this good kids, there's good kids that, go to school, they graduate, go to college, doing what they supposed to do, and then lose their life on some shit like this, and you be like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? But y'all might as well get ready. Y'all might as well get ready because this one about to be a doozy. This is about to be a doozy. This is about to be Carmelo Anthony part 2. But in reverse. It's about to be Carmelo part 2, but in reverse, except this time it's going to be, and I told y'all that this was going to happen. Didn't I tell y'all that? Didn't I tell y'all that we're going to have a circumstance where a black guy loses his life and it's probably going to be at the hands of a white guy, and I want to see how y'all going to operate. Didn't I tell y'all this was going to happen? Now, I'm going to sit back and see how many black folk are going to be like, yeah, they need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. That kid lost his life and somebody got to answer for that. And I'm going to be like, exactly. Exactly. I told you. I told you. And the reason why I knew it was going to happen is because y'all was going too hard in the paint. You was going too hard in the paint. Too hard in the paint. So now we're going to see what you really think about the justice system and who should be held accountable when somebody loses their life and all of it. Because here's the funny thing about, well, not funny, but here's the interesting thing about this situation. With the Carmelo situation, you know Carmelo did it. With this situation, you don't know that they did it. So now we're going to see. Now we're going to see how y'all really operate. You feel me? Now we getting ready to see. We getting ready to see what time it is now. Trust and believe. We's getting ready to see.
It's that time again. We going up. We going up.
It's time to read the super chats.
Yo, shout out to my man Jerome. He said, for the show. Appreciate you.
That's that BINO energy.
Shout out to Jimmy. He said, adding to the plate. Shout out to James. He said, for the show. Shout out to Malcolm. He said, keep up the hard work, AM. Let's see who else we got. Let's see. Did I already read these? I don't think I read. Did I read these? Oh, well, we can read it again. Shout out to Lotus Flower. Said love and support.
That's that BINO energy.
Shout out to Young Illuminati. Said I greatly appreciate the entertainment.
That's that BINO energy.
And I definitely read that one. Shout out to Nita. Nita said just got off work. AM for the BINO roll call.
That's that BINO energy.
Shout out to Bryson. Said, AM, you inspire me. It's nice to see a black entrepreneur handling business. Appreciate you. Shout out to I Am Celine. Said, even if it was a bunch of sheeted men, I highly doubt they would harass or hurt any woman. Yes, even a black woman would be fine unless she provoked people. I don't know. If it was the Klan, that'd be a different story. Shout out to I'm Celine again. Said, I felt disgusted when I heard a black woman say, I hope this sis got home safe, when statistically black women delete more than white men do. Really? I didn't know that statistic. I gotta look that up. I gotta look that up and verify that. Shout out to No Fat. Come on, bro, with the name. Oh my God. Said, swim they may, but drown they must. God bless family. Appreciate it. Jesus Christ. The name, though. The name. But that brings us to the main topic. Oh, yes. The main topic. Yes, indeedy. So, for everybody watching, if you remember, we've been covering the Big Tigger and his wife situation. And at first, we fell for the okie doke. We genuinely believed that Big Tigger was an abuser. We should have knew better. Because even though I don't like Big Tigger, I can't really see him being an abuser. He doesn't fit the abuser model. Like, he just doesn't. His disposition and his temperament doesn't give off abuser. It just doesn't, right? But she did a very good job of being performative. And now when I go back and look at it, when she did the video with the stitches and she was like, I said, yeah, she's putting on. Hindsight is always 20/20 though. But then the second, then the video came out and you could see what was really going on. And then the other day, this second video came out, which is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, the way this woman is sliding across the floor trying to keep this man's phone, it's like, grow the hell up. But it doesn't matter, because everybody was coming out of the woodwork saying, wait a minute, ma'am, you keep trying to get Big Tigger locked up for domestic violence, but we still don't know where your daughter at. And when I first heard that, I was like, well, wait a minute. Well, what are we talking about here? Oh, yeah, this woman, her daughter disappeared at 10 years old. Vanished. They're saying that she would be 17 years old today. Right now, she'd be 17 years old. So I'm listening to the story. I'm going through different stories where everybody's talking about this story, right? And so I heard something about the father saying that he wished he could see his daughter. He doesn't know where his daughter's at. So apparently, he was supposed to go to court for custody of this particular daughter. And this woman just vanished with the daughter. And now she's in a new relationship. She's married to Big Tigger. And as far as I can tell, people still don't know where this daughter's at. And bruh, fam, I'm not even gonna lie. I was getting frustrated listening to everybody cover this, because I'm sitting here like, wait a minute. I'm still not hearing anybody confirm where the girl is at. Like, no one is saying, okay, we know she's here, or we know, like, I heard a rumor that she was with a foster parent or something. Like, bro, we need to know where this little girl is at. We need to know where this little girl is at. Why don't we know where this little girl is at? I mean, could you imagine, bro? Could you imagine the audacity? I need you to think about this for a second. Could you imagine the audacity of a woman whose daughter went missing 7 years ago? This woman gets into a new marriage, knowing her daughter's missing, knowing she has a warrant in another state. You would think that this woman would not dare call the police. You would think that this woman would want to live off of the grid and never have no type of involvement whatsoever with no type of law enforcement. But this is how dedicated they are to ruining men's lives. Regardless of the fact that she don't need no media coverage, she's still on social media drawing attention to herself, knowing she has a missing kid, knowing she has a warrant. She married a popular radio host and cultural figure, and you thought that you were going to try to get Big Tigger locked up for domestic violence, and you have an entire missing child out here? Bro, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. They are either extremely stupid or that dedicated to ruining somebody's life. And see, here's the thing that I've never understood, right? This is something I've never understood. I've never understood when a woman would go to Planned Parenthood and delete a child, and then a year later give birth to a child and take care of that child. Like, it makes me wonder, like, why was this one more important than this one? Like right now with this chick, she's in a relationship and she has children that live in that house with her. She's got a son that we heard on camera. She's also got a child by Tigger. And it's like, why are those children more important than the missing one? And it starts to, we start to get to the point where we realize this woman is crazy. This woman is batshit crazy. In fact, hold on, let's go back to some of her greatest hits.
Get off of me! Give me back my phone. Get off of me! Give me back my phone. You don't need it. What do you need it for? Get off. What do you need it for? Get off of me. Please get off of me. As soon as you give me my phone. Please get off of me. My phone. Please get off of me. Registered in my name. Please get off of me. Give me my phone. You're speaking my ear in my ear. Oh, sorry. Get off of me. Give me my phone. Please get off of me. You can stay right on the floor. You're a fucking man. I'm not a man. Tigger, get off my phone.
Do you not see all them crying?
Stop. I'm not doing it.
Listen to you.
Bro,
you're literally stepping on her.
I'm not stepping on her. Bro, she can give me the phone and it'll be over. She can give me the phone and it would be over.
Bro, just get off her. She's gonna give you.
I'm not on her at all. Give me my phone.
Get off of me.
Give me my phone.
If I was anybody else, you wouldn't be doing this
shit. You say so.
Bro, just get off her. You can buy a new phone. Mr. Tigger! Mr. Tigger, get off of her now! Get off.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say this, and there's a whole lot of people that's going to disagree with me. There's a whole lot of people that's going to disagree with me, but I don't care. I'm a firm believer that whenever you pretend somebody's doing something to you to get that person in trouble, you deserve whatever you were pretending happened to you. In other words, the way she's pretending that Big Tigger is abusing her and beating her up, it would serve her right if Big Tigger had a baby D type sister. You feel me? Like Lady of Rage. Like if he had a sister like Baby T off of Next Friday, and he just called his sister up, and his sister just came over there and just like, cause man, look. It's just crazy. It's nasty work any way you cut it. Any way you cut it, it's nasty work.
Major plot twist alert. Big Tigger's wife, Alicia Brown, has now been arrested. This escalated much quicker than I thought. Like, just when you thought the case couldn't get more complicated, It's complicated. It is now being reported that she was arrested in Georgia on a warrant related to kidnapping. Hart County Sheriff's Office says deputies tracked down her vehicle Monday night after receiving a bolo tied to outstanding kidnapping-related warrants out of Maryland. The authorities say that she was arrested without incident during a felony traffic stop on Interstate 85.
Now, some of y'all might be like, well, if she's had a warrant this entire time, why is it just now they putting out a bolo? Why are they just now doing this? I'll tell you why. Because she's been drawing attention to herself. Her desperate attempt to get attention and vilify and demonize Big Tigger is what got, matter of fact, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I just thought about something. Oh, why didn't I think about this before? Big Tigger's diabolical. I think Big Tigger called them people on her. What y'all think? I think Big Tigger's behind this because I keep asking myself, like, how does TMZ keep getting these videos? How did TMZ get the ring video? I think this is Big Tigger. I think Big Tigger was like, oh, word? So you gonna get me locked up? Got me out here with mugshots? Got me out here looking crazy? Bet. Bet. Big Tigger done called them people on her.
Two young children were inside her vehicle. One of those children was her child with Big Tigger. The Maryland warrants.
Big Tigger about to get full custody of his kid. Big Tigger, hey, Big Tigger done hit her with the Uno reverse card. Bruh, his charge is probably going to get dropped in the whole nine. Like, he going to get custody of his kid and keep it pushing.
Stem from the 2019 disappearance of her 10-year-old child, Aaliyah Brown. She faces a felony interference with child custody charge in Georgia, and officials say she will be extradited to Maryland. This is so freaking crazy. I was just doing research to make a video about her missing daughter, and the circumstances around her daughter going missing are crazy. And I was listening to her father, the daughter's father, speak. He seems to be the only one looking for her. The mother, Alicia, has just moved on with her life, had 2 more kids, got married. And it's like, did you forget that you got a daughter out there that's missing? Did you do something to the daughter? Where is the daughter? So now this is beyond Big Tigger. This is beyond any domestic violence situation that they might have going on. This lady just got arrested for kidnapping. And it involves her missing daughter, Aaliyah, y'all. Y'all were all asking, what's going on? Where is her daughter? Oh, shit is about to hit the fan for real. Maybe.
Where is that? Where's the daughter at? I'm still wondering. Like, for real. Like, where is the daughter? We need to know. Like, inquiring minds want to know. Where is the daughter at? But it gets even.
My name is Brittany Renner.
It gets even worse. Oh my God, hell no. We don't want to see you, Brittany. Get out of here. It gets worse. It gets much worse. Because here's another question that we gotta ask.
Hey, I saw that. And I just want to know what is this? Hey, I saw that video with Big Tigger and his wife, and I just want to know what is considered domestic violence these days, man, because I think that what happened, everything I saw in that video, I don't know if I could say that's domestic violence. I mean, her screaming and him trying to get his phone, and I didn't see him physically hit her or anything like that. And it's messing up his reputation overall. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure he lost work behind it and everything. And it's like, okay, you get his phone, you went through his phone, maybe allegedly, I don't know, maybe saw something you didn't want to see or wasn't supposed to see, or might have been upset at what you saw. Who knows? Okay, if this is going to probably lead to a divorce, which I think this is going to be ugly and lead to a divorce, but to what is domestic violence now? I just don't know. Like, anybody could scream loud and all of this, and even if it's a 911 call, the way she was screaming sounded like, without having to see that video, would have sounded like she was being attacked or anything of that nature. And I just think it's dead wrong, man, because innocent people do get hurt by people who just claim things that aren't true. I'm just saying, maybe it's another video, maybe it's another version of that video. I don't know, but from what I saw on that video, what is considered domestic violence? Because the man can probably be losing everything now. You know, like, even if he's done something wrong, as in whatever he had in his phone, hey, by all means, take that up with lawyers and judges and get a divorce or whatever it takes, you know, but to go to that extreme, I just think that was crazy. And then here it is, allegedly, she has her own situation where she just got arrested allegedly about alleging kidnapping warrant. So, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you got to look at the character of the person, man. You know, everybody is not who they say they are. And it is what it is, man. I just think that from what I saw, that's just my personal opinion. I didn't see where what was considered domestic violence. Maybe laws in other places are different. I don't know, but from what I saw in that video, I didn't see domestic violence to me. So tell me what you think. Peace. Hey, I saw that video with Big Tigger and
so the first thing that concerns me when it comes to this whole situation, right? And I don't know if y'all notice it or not. You got a bunch of people that's still trying to figure out what Tigger did wrong. They're like, well, maybe there's another video. Maybe we're only seeing part of it. Maybe this or maybe that, or maybe she's just full of shit. Why is that never on the table? Why is that never on the table? Why do we have to do all of these mental gymnastics trying to figure out what Tigger did wrong? Is it possible that he didn't do nothing wrong? She took his phone. Guess what? I don't care what nobody else thinks. He has every right to take his phone back. I don't care what nobody got to say. When you got brothers like this coming on social media, walking on eggshells, trying their best not to offend anybody. In this day and age, what is domestic violence? What is it really? I'll tell you what it is. This is domestic violence. From a man's perspective, it's when a man or a woman is physically fighting, hitting, and abusing their significant other. From a woman's perspective, it's whenever a man puts his hand on a woman. That's why she was screaming like that. See, in her mind, she believes that the moment she took the phone from him, now there's a protective force field. And she could just go through the phone, you know, at leisure, because as a man, he's not supposed to touch her. Remember we was kids and we used to play tag and you had the safe spot where if you was at the safe spot, nobody could tag you? This is how women operate nowadays. They think that there is no set of circumstances where somebody can put hands on them. So much so that the police can't even police women nowadays. Soon as they pull them over and they doing something wild and the police officer grab her, "You're not supposed to touch me." Says who, you goofy bird? I'm telling y'all right now, on everything I love, if we don't get this part of our society corrected, and when I say this part of our society, this idea that no one is ever supposed to lay a finger on a woman, if we don't get this situated, it is going to continue to cause and create goofy situations like this. Because there are people in this world, if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. I don't know, like taking somebody's property and then telling them that you can't touch me, so I get to keep your property. That's not how shit works. That's not how things work. This overcorrection that we've made in an attempt to equalize society, you haven't equalized society. You've tilted it all the way to the other side. So now, instead of men abusing women willy-nilly, now you have women abusing men willy-nilly. They may do it in a different way, and I'm keeping it real. What you just saw in that situation was her abusing Big Tigger. That's what you saw. That's what you saw. Now, some of y'all gonna be like, how? Well, let's start with the first thing. One, she took his phone knowing that we live in a society where the moment he tries to grab her and take his phone back, he's gonna be viewed as the bad guy. That's her abusing our societal norms or the sensibilities of our society. That's her being manipulative. That is a form of abuse. Her then playing the victim, screaming and yelling as if he's doing something to her. That is yet again her abusing her entire, that's her abusing this society's damsel in distress response. And ultimately, it's her abusing the court system and abusing the societal norm of us always assuming that a man is the villain. See, in that situation, that's her being abusive, not the way a man would be abusive. A man being abusive in most cases is him being physical with his hands. A woman being abusive is her being manipulative. Until we get to a place where we start acknowledging that women are abusive and the tool they use to be abusive is manipulation. In fact, this woman is so damn manipulative, she's been running around for years with a missing child and nobody seemed to give a damn. This is how manipulative this woman is. She has been running around here for years, started a whole new family. Has a missing daughter, and nobody seems to have cared. Like, this is ridiculous. Any way you cut it, it's ridiculous. And look, James said, I used to be in law enforcement. Fun fact, being married is irrelevant. If your spouse takes your property without your consent, i.e. your smartphone, call the police and have your spouse arrested. Yeah, and I agree with that. I agree with that. But that's a remedy that can be used right now. the thing that I'm speaking to is the societal norm. Like we gotta, even though we have laws that do certain things, the problem is we have too many societal norms that lean in a certain direction. And to me, even though we have laws on the books to remedy certain things, those laws aren't as effective as long as we continue to have the ideology that we have. Like, I'll give you a prime example. If we have the ideology or the mentality that women are always victims, then that means whenever a man tries to prosecute a woman for wrongfully doing something to that man, because our society views women as always being victims and men always as being the perpetrators of a crime or being villains, then him trying to get her prosecuted is not going to have the same effect as it would if she tried to get him prosecuted for something he did wrong to her. So even though we have laws on the books to remedy certain things, like for instance, the whole smartphone thing, if a man snatched his wife's smartphone and she called the police, I can guarantee they're going to lock his ass up. Not 10 times out of 10, he's going to jail, right? However, on the flip side, if a man calls the law on his wife for taking his phone, more often than not, I don't see her getting arrested. I see the cop showing up and basically telling her to give him back his phone, or, you know, can't y'all work this out? And the reason why that always occurs is because we're still walking around with the mentality that women are at a disadvantage in the world we live in, and they're not. That's the problem. We think we still live in the world of women and children first, and women don't have the ability to vote or own land or own bank accounts, and women are the weaker of the two sexes. We think we still live in that world, and we don't. We don't, because even though physically women may still be the weaker of two sexes, there are certain things we have in this society that kind of even the playing field. In fact, it doesn't even the playing field. It actually tips the scale in favor of women. So the problem that we have, in my humble opinion, is that we got to change the ideology. We got to change the way we look at things. We got to change the way, like, for instance, there isn't a single soul that, like, anybody with common sense can look at that video and see she's being manipulative. But how many people are going to actually say it? You feel me? Because we still live in a society that's very social, and human beings are the go along to get along type. So if a human being thinks saying that she's manipulative is going against the grain, more often than not, they're not going to say it. They're going to agree with everybody else that's saying, that's ridiculous. Tigger shouldn't have to do all of that to get his phone back. That's what most people are going to say. Most people are going to say that Tigger don't got to be grabbing on her to get his phone back. He should just call the police and have her locked up. That's what most people are going to say, right? And while even though that is a remedy for it, cool, that's a remedy for it. But in my personal opinion, the only reason she's acting like that is because she didn't have a big mama that told her to go get a switch when she was younger and tore her ass up every time she did goofy stuff like this. That's because I don't care what nobody say. I bet you any amount of money she grew up in a household where she would grab one of her siblings' toys and the parents was just like, oh, just let her have it. Instead of telling her, hey, stop doing that. Give that back to your sister, or give that back to your brother. No, I'm not. Okay, I'll tell you what. Wait till I come back with this switch. See, the problem with our society is we got too many people that don't want to call a spade a spade. We got too many people that don't want to call shit out for what it actually is. You feel me? In fact, there's certain stuff about this situation that I can't even say up here because of societal norms. I can't even say it because if I say it, people are going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. Because all I'm going to say is this. My grandmother used to have this saying. She used to say, whenever a kid was doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing, or they were spoiled or entitled or whatever, right? She would say, yo, behind. She didn't say behind. She'd say the other word. She'd say ass. But I'm going to say behind for the sake of the editing. She would say, yo, behind can't stand what it needs. That's what she would say. In other words, the amount of discipline that you actually need is too much for your behind. Like, it would be too much for you. That's how messed up you are. Your behind can't stand what it needs. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Even though she was applying that to children, there's a bunch of grown folks walking around here. They behind can't stand what it needs. And I'm talking male and female. There's a bunch of grown folks walking around here that are the result of us being in a society where at some point somebody said, hey, you know what? We got to stop with the corporal punishment. We just need to talk to people. Talking doesn't cause pain. See, the funniest thing about it is we'll have all of these psychologists come out and they'll say corporal punishment is ineffective. But at the same time, other psychologists will point out that pain induction or administering pain actually does affect behavior. Right? So it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy because on the one hand, we can acknowledge that if I touch the eye of a stove and it burns the shit out of me, it hurts. I'm not going to do that again. And the reason I'm not going to do that again is because it's hot. If I could put my hand on the stove and it not burn me, or better yet, let's say I had a messed up medulla oblongata, right? Or some nerve damage to where I can't feel any pain, right? And I put my hand on the stove. I could leave my hand there forever and I wouldn't feel anything. Now, the only problem is, even though I don't feel it, that eye is still doing damage to my hand. See, people don't realize the point of pain is to teach you not to do something. People don't understand this. That's the entire reason that the human body feels pain. Because that's the only way you can avoid damaging your body. That's the only way you can avoid doing things that's going to cause you harm. So when you have these new age psychologists, which I think they're pushing an agenda, I think that these new age psychologists, they just want us to live in a world full of anarchy and unruly ass individuals. I don't believe in any of their bullshit. I think all of it is pseudoscience, all of the gentle parenting and all of that crap. Because just like my hand being on that stove, just because I don't feel any pain doesn't mean it's not doing damage to me. So if you have a child that is doing what it wants to do, and you're bent and determined that you're not going to punish that child physically because you don't want to cause them any pain, the entire reason you're trying to stop them is because what they're doing is going to cause problems for them. So what happens if you put your hand on a stove, but you don't feel any pain? What happens if you do something you're not supposed to and there's no pain attached to it? You're going to keep doing it, and it's going to keep causing damage. It's going to keep causing problems. If I can put my hand on that stove and it doesn't burn me and I just keep doing it, it's going to mess up my hand to the point where sooner or later the hand going to have to be amputated. So if you have a child it's doing something that it's not supposed to do, and there's no type of pain, there's no type of deterrent, they're going to keep doing it. And just because you didn't correct them doesn't mean that they're not going to damage themselves by doing it. Now, in that situation, the damage is not going to be physical, it's going to be psychological. And what do you end up with when you have a child that goes through its life touching the stove and not feeling pain? You end up with a fully grown adult that grabs somebody's phone, runs in the other room and clutches it like a baby. And then when the person tries to take their property back, they start screaming and crying like they're 5 years old. That's what you end up with. That's what you end up with. I'm a firm believer that many of the adults you see running around here, the reason why they suffer from arrested development is because they didn't get their ass whooped when they was kids. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say. When we were kids, we got punishment. We knew that actions had repercussions. Actions got results. Okay? Not delayed results, immediately. You did something stupid, you immediately got punished. See, the reason why you have adults running around here doing stupid shit all the time is because they never got punished for doing stupid shit. They never got punished for doing stupid shit. Every time they did something, somebody talked to them. That don't matter. They can ignore that. They can ignore that and keep it going. Ignore that and keep it moving. You feel me? Let's see. Jared said, AM, look up the issues with psychology and other social science. About half of those amazing studies can't be replicated when someone else tries to confirm the results. Yeah, because it's just like the Duluth model, right? A lot of these psychologists, the only reason they came up with this bullshit, this new form of pseudoscience, is to get funding, is to get government funding. That's why. They're not, first of all, the government is not going to give you funding to do research into something that we already know. If we already know it and it's already proven, that, so if we know for a fact, if you spank a kid, they're going to stop doing what they were doing. We know that for a fact. You don't got to do no research into that. So what somebody will do is come along and say, no, you're not supposed to spank him. You're supposed to do this. In fact, I can prove it. If you could just give me a grant for X amount of money. That's all that is. It's just a bunch of people trying to create jobs for themselves. That's all it is. Bunch of people trying to create jobs for themselves. And in the process, the only problem with it is whenever they do this, they label these people experts. And then these people write books and they put out papers. And all of a sudden, this then becomes the standard for how we live our life. And it's some cockamamie theory that doesn't even work. And so now you, after all of these years, now you have fully grown adults that can't even function in the real world. Fully grown adults that'll be sitting in their car and just all of a sudden just start going crazy and shit because they can't cope with society. There was one video, I don't know if I showed y'all. There was a video of this individual that was just in the car just losing their shit. I'm talking about like The Exorcist, right? In fact, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Crashing out in car. I'll probably never find that video again. I'll probably never find that video again. But there was a person, somebody was recording them. And they was just sitting in their car going crazy. And the moment I saw it, you know what I thought? I said, yeah, that's something you did when you were a kid. You were a little kid and something was frustrating you. You didn't, your parents didn't give you a cookie or they didn't buy you the toy you wanted or whatever, and you did all of that and they didn't beat your ass. And so now, as an adult, you think that's a proper response to not getting what you want. See, those of us that are normal, when we don't get what we want, we deal with it. It's like, well, damn, I can't, it is what it is. I got to figure something out. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reason why we're not sitting in our car going crazy like that, because we're still afraid that if we sit in our car and start, one of our elders is just going to pop up out of nowhere with a belt and beat our ass like we stole something. That's the reason why we don't do that. That's the reason. It's called conditioning. When you live in a world where there's no consequences to your crazy behavior gets worse. It gets worse. And what makes it even more detrimental is by the time you become a fully grown adult, you're not going to listen to somebody when they tell you to stop doing that because you're an adult. And two, why would you listen to somebody telling you to stop doing that as an adult when your parents didn't tell you that even when you was a kid? If your parents didn't have the balls to tell you to stop doing something or punish you for doing something wrong, why the hell would you listen to anybody as an adult? We have an entire generation of people like that. I'll never forget this. Straight up and down. I remember I was having a conversation with a young dude. Dude probably is like, I say 20 some years younger than me, right? So at the time, he was in his late teens. And me and some other guys that was in my age bracket, we're having a conversation with him. And we had a disagreement. And he was getting real mad or whatever, right? And so we start talking shit to him because he's getting upset, right? And so now he's really upset. He's talking shit back to us or whatever. We start hitting him with the, yo, fam, respect your elders. What's wrong with you? And he basically telling us how he don't got to respect his elders and this, that, and the third and all of this crap, right? And so I immediately did what I always do. I pinpoint what the problem is. I say, you know what? I say, you know how you act? You act like you ain't never got corrected in your life. Nobody has ever spanked you, have they? He looked at me like I was crazy. He said, spank me? Hell no, ain't nobody ever put their head. Like, he said that shit like I was crazy for even thinking it was possible. Right? Now keep in mind, this is a young dude that used to rip and run the street and all of this shit. Could nobody tell him nothing? When I suggested that he never got disciplined, he looked at me like I was crazy, like I didn't know what I was talking about. Now, if you notice, I said he used to rip and run the streets. You know why I said he used to rip and run the streets? Because he ain't here no more. He gone because of gun violence. So, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. But anyway. So we basically had a woman tell the whole internet that Big Tigger was a monster, right? And she's sitting in a jail cell tonight, wanted for kidnapping, tied to a child that's been missing since 2019. Just let that sink in for a second. Everybody who ran with her story, everybody who convinced, who convinced themselves that this man was a monster, that this man was a villain. This woman played you. And I know because she damn near played me. Remember the pitch. Remember how she sold it. The photos of her face. The caption telling you, ask Tigger what happened to my face. The affair rumor. She threw it as co-host, which, by the way, his co-host is suing her for defamation. Right? So I guess it's to the point now we know it wasn't true, because if it was true, why would she be suing for defamation? Right? But that was the narrative. Bruised victim, powerful man, case closed. I don't know how powerful he is, but and a whole lot of people bought it without asking a single difficult question. Well, let me not say that. Some of you was asking, where's her daughter? But then the tape dropped. And on that video, she's the one trying to smash up his computer, snatching his phone, putting her hands on his property while he's begging her to just stop. Just stop. That's not a woman in fear. Go look at it again. Go check it out again. Here's the tell nobody wants to say out loud. Every single time we see these two on video, it's because she's grabbing something that belonged to him. Right? Why would she do that? Why would she do that? She's obviously not scared of him. If she's willing to boldly take his phone from him, she ain't worried about him doing nothing to her. Like, let's be real. Then, on top of that, she's been portraying herself as being the victim And this entire time, she's got a missing daughter. A little girl by the name of Aaliyah that's been missing since May of 2019. She would be 17 years old now. And here's the crazy thing. I still haven't heard anybody confirm where this child is at. I don't even know if the child is alive. The father, poor guy, he fought for the child for a year and a half in court. He won. This is the crazy thing. He fought for a year and a half to get custody of his child, and he actually won. And she was ordered to give the daughter to him. And then she vanished. And they're just now arresting her. But we're going to sit here and act like this world doesn't favor women and treat them like they're always victims. Could you imagine that? He won custody. She was ordered to give the little girl back to him, and the little girl is just missing. And the crazy thing about it is, do we even know if the child is alive? This woman got a record where she's done all types of stuff, which includes assaulting Big Tigger. And this ain't something I'm making up. This is something she got arrested for. But you still got people on the internet running around here talking about some, well, is there another video? Maybe this and maybe that, and maybe you need to shut up. If that's what the way you think. Maybe you need to shut up, because at the end of the day, the fact that we always want to bring out the cape for these women and pretend like they not problematic or it's impossible for them to be problematic, it is beyond ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous. Now, this is what I hope comes of this. One, I want to know where this child is at. I want to know that she's safe and alive, and she needs to be given back to her father. Now, regardless of where this child is at, regardless of what state the child is in, they need to lock her under the jail. Point blank, period. Get her raggedy, trifling, problematic ass off the street. Lock her up. Lock her up. She's out here doing too much, and she's too comfortable doing too much. Get her out of here. Pack her up, like my man would say. Pack her up. She's cooked. She's done. Stick a fork in her. Get her up out of here. Because at the end of the day, bro, some examples need to be made. And that's just real. That's just real. But with that being said, I'm about to get up out of here, man. Shout out to everybody that came through and hung out with me. I appreciate y'all. Like I said before, make sure you guys go over and check out the new shop. Check out the clothing we got over there. We got plenty of items over there. This for any of you individuals that want to find you some fly gear. You feel me? Make sure you go over there and check it out. Check out some of the offerings that we have. You feel me? But with that being said, I'm about to get up out of here. Salute to every last one of y'all. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Deuces.
The session is closed. The board is dismissed.
I gave you the blueprint, now go build a estate. Stop arguing with broke, man, stop debating with fate. We don't negotiate value, we dictate the price. You watch the show for free, I just gave you a slice. But the real ones know where the equity lives. We taking everything, we got nothing to give. The manual is waiting, you know where it's at. This ain't a gamble, it's a guaranteed bet.
Go protect lead, go and plant the seed. Go protect lead, that's the code we need. Go to the side, yeah, secure the command. The Angryman Channel, the standard of the land.
TheAngrymanChannel.com.
Get the shirt, get the boost.
Start watching, start working. We up.